Generosity is one of those things that we talk a lot about in Unitarian Universalist congregations, especially during pledge drives, but hopefully throughout the year. I know this congregation has a long history of being generous, as I myself have been a recipient of that generosity. Those of you who remember my time as your student minister may remember the beautiful ordination ceremony that you all provided for me. But today I want to dig a bit deeper into generosity. Generosity encompasses a broad spectrum of behaviors and attitudes that reflect an open-hearted and compassionate approach to life. Now, when I think of generosity, I think of 4 different types of generosity. The first one is, of course, financial generosity, but it's more than just monetary donations. We encourage you, as we just did during the offering, to support the congregation here financially as you're able, because it is that support that enables us to fulfill our mission and to serve others. Financial generosity also extends to supporting causes and organizations aligned with UU values, promoting social justice, environmental sustainability, and human rights, and even buying Christmas presents for children who may not otherwise get one. Besides financial generosity, there is also the generosity of time and talent. And this involves everyone who volunteers and helps and gives their time to make sure that Tri-UU runs smoothly, from board meetings, building upkeep, to Sunday services, and everything in between. It also involves those who share their individual talents with us to provide music or AV, hospitality, and even administration. And yet, generosity is more than just time, talent, and treasure. I contend that generosity also includes generosity of the Spirit. This is how we live out our values and our principles in our day-to-day life. It involves being kind, compassionate, and empathetic towards others, regardless of their background, their beliefs, or circumstances. I never said being a UU was easy. This generosity of spirit fosters a sense of inclusivity and belonging within our congregation, welcoming all who seek a supportive and nurturing environment. Now, there's one more aspect of generosity that I want to mention before moving on, and it's the one we tend to forget about a lot, and that's generosity towards ourselves. We talk a lot about the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and we sometimes forget about our own inherent worth and dignity. It's when we remember this that we are able to cultivate a generous spirit toward others. When we practice self-care, set healthy boundaries, and prioritize our own well-being, we are more able to fully engage in acts of generosity or service. So these 4 types of generosity, financial, time and talent, spirit, and inward, are grounded in a deep sense of interconnectedness and mutual responsibility. This generosity reflects commitment to building a world where all individuals are valued, respected, and supported in living lives of meaning and purpose. And it's not just generosity we're looking at today. I want to turn to hope for a moment. It's a big word. Hope is a foundational core value in Unitarian Universalism and infuses our principles and practices with a sense of optimism, possibility, and resilience. Why is hope so important? Hope is a source of inspiration. Hope emerges within Unitarian Universalism as a guiding force that inspires individuals and communities to envision a better world and work towards its realization. Hope motivates us to confront challenges, overcome obstacles, and persevere in the pursuit of justice, equity, and compassion. Through hope, we are inspired to imagine and create a more inclusive, peaceful, and sustainable future for all. Not only is hope a source of inspiration, but it's also a counterbalance to despair. In a world marked by injustice, suffering, and uncertainty, hope serves as a powerful antidote to despair. It offers solace and comfort in times of difficulty, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, the potential for transformation and renewal remains. So hope inspires us and provides us an antidote to despair. Well, what else? Well, hope is a spiritual practice. It's not just this abstract concept, it's a lived experience. It involves cultivating an attitude of openness, possibility, and trust in the inherent goodness and humanity of the universe and the universe. When we gather each week, we nurture and strengthen our capacity for hope, deepening our connections to one another. Hope is also a catalyst for social change. Hope fuels our Unitarian Universalist commitment to social justice, empowering individuals and communities to confront systems of oppression, challenge injustice, and advocate for positive change. It's what gives us a sense of agency and empowerment, encouraging us to believe in our ability to make a difference in this world. And finally, hope is a unifying force. Within this diverse tapestry of beliefs and backgrounds within our congregations, hope serves as the unifying force that transcends any differences and fosters a sense of shared purpose and belonging. Hope creates a common ground upon which we, in all our diverse beliefs and backgrounds, can come together in solidarity, mutual support, and collective action. Generosity and hope. Here's the thing, they're related. Generosity and hope hold hands. They reinforce and nourish the other in a dynamic cycle of empowerment and transformation. Generosity fosters hope. When we engage in acts of generosity, whether we do that through giving our time, our resources, or compassion, we do so with the belief that our actions can make a positive difference in this world. Maybe not full-blown all over the world, but I believe that when we are generous, we are hoping to make a positive difference in the world of that person, place, or thing that we are being generous with. This belief that we can change the world through our generosity is inherently hopeful. It's grounded in the conviction that change is possible and that our contributions to this world matter. Generosity provides intangible evidence of the goodness and potential for positive change in the world, especially when we're able to witness the impact of our generosity. We're inspired to maintain a hopeful outlook and to continue being generous so that we can create a better world. Our acts of generosity don't just give us hope. They create ripple effects of kindness and compassion throughout communities. The recipients of our generosity also experience hope. When we are generous, we give people tangible proof of the inherent goodness of humanity and possibilities for a more just and equitable society. Now, when I was a teenager, my family was poor, very poor. My mother had been battling cancer, and between that and some other issues that came up during that time, we were barely hanging on. That year, my youth group was passing out Thanksgiving boxes. I went around with the group in the church van, watching the recipients' eyes light up with hope, knowing that we were not doing a Thanksgiving meal that year. We drove back towards the church with one box left. My youth pastors dropped the rest of the youth off at the church and told them that the last box was for someone on the way to where one of the youth pastors and I each lived. And the other youth pastor had picked up his colleague and then me at the beginning, so no one, including myself, thought anything of it. When we got to my house, the driver hopped out and opened the back, where the last box was sitting. And quietly he said, "I know your family could use this with all that's going on with your mom. And I also know that you probably won't ask because your parents wouldn't ask. So tell them we miscounted and had an extra box, and that we know it would be put to good use in your home." And he was right. We needed that box. And I couldn't ask because my parents hated asking for help. And the fact that my youth pastor not only knew it would be hard for me to ask, but that it would be hard for my family to accept a handout was huge to me. 33 years later, and that is still a crisp memory in my mind. And for the record, my parents appeared to believe the cover story. I did see my dad wipe away a tear when he thought no one was looking. And after that, I noticed that we always donated clothes and household items to the Disabled Veterans Group, which came by every 6 months to pick up stuff. Here's the thing. Generosity fosters hope, and hope fuels generosity. Hope serves as a catalyst for generosity. It motivates us to act in ways that align with our values and aspirations for a better future. When we believe in the possibility of positive change, we are more inclined to contribute our time, our talent, our treasure to efforts that promote justice, equity, and compassion. Hope inspires us to transcend self-interest and consider the needs and well-being of others. It encourages a spirit of generosity that extends beyond the individual gain to encompass the collective flourishing of all members of society. In times of uncertainty or adversity, such as now, hope sustains our commitment to generosity, giving us the resilience and perseverance needed to continue giving even when faced with challenges. It reinforces the belief that our acts of generosity have the power to create meaningful and lasting change, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. This relationship between generosity and hope creates a positive feedback loop, where each one reinforces and amplifies the other. As we engage in acts of generosity fueled by hope, we can experience a sense of fulfillment, purpose, and connection that further strengthens our hope for the future. In the same way, as we cultivate a hopeful outlook grounded in the belief in the inherent goodness of humanity and the potential for positive change, we are inspired to continue practicing generosity to manifest that hopeful vision in the world. Generosity has a profound ability to inspire hope in both the giver and the receiver, as I mentioned earlier with the story of the Thanksgiving box. Engaging in acts of generosity often brings a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose to the giver. When we extend kindness, compassion, and support to others, we can experience a tangible connection to our values and our capacity to make a positive difference. This sense of purpose fosters hope by reminding us of our own inherent worth and agency in shaping a better future. Acts of generosity empower the giver by reinforcing our belief in our ability to affect change and create a meaningful impact in the lives of others. Can you think of a time when you were generous and it helped you feel like you were making a difference? Generosity also strengthens our bonds of connection and community, fostering a sense of belonging and shared purpose among individuals. When we come together to support one another, we experience a sense of solidarity and mutual support that reinforces our hope for a more compassionate and just society. The shared experience of generosity cultivates a sense of collective agency and resilience, inspiring hope for the possibility of positive change through collaborative effort. That's what generosity does for the giver. But what about when we're the receivers? Acts of generosity communicate to the receiver that we are valued, seen, and deserving of support and kindness. When we receive generosity from others, we experience a reaffirmation of our inherent worth and dignity. And that can instill a sense of hope and optimism about our own potential and possibilities for the future. Can you think of a time when someone was generous to you, in whatever way that means, when you really needed to be reminded that you were seen and loved? Generosity also provides practical assistance and emotional support to those in need, offering a lifeline in challenging times. When we receive help from others, we may feel encouraged and supported in our journey, which can inspire hope for brighter days ahead. Just knowing that we are not alone and that others care for our well-being can be a source of strength and resilience in the face of adversity. Acts of generosity often create and inspire a desire to pay it forward, as among those who have received them. When we witness and experience the transformative power of generosity firsthand, we may be inspired to become givers ourselves, perpetuating a cycle of generosity and hope within our communities. Now, I've preached the offering at a few colleagues' ordinations and installations, and this is often a short, very short bit of a sales pitch for the group or groups receiving the offering at that ceremony. My friends who are giving to either the Living Tradition Fund with the UUA or the Scholarship Fund at Meadville Lombard Theological School usually call on me, because I always tell stories of the time that both of those funds got me to where I am today. Due to scholarship funds given by others, I could pursue my calling as a minister. And thanks to those who gave to the Living Tradition Fund, I could pay my bills and regroup during the summer hiatus at the end of my first year of ministry when my marriage suddenly ended. I tell those stories in much greater detail for those offerings. And I do that because I know that hope and generosity hold hands. And for the people attending to hear a real story from a real person about how their funds could help others led them to be more generous. So how do we incorporate generosity in our daily lives? Well, volunteer regularly, whether that's here at Tri-UU or at another organization or another group doing environmental cleanup. Volunteering provides meaningful opportunities to make a positive impact in our community. 2, you can practice random acts of kindness. These small gestures can brighten someone's day and create a positive ripple effect. 3, you can donate to charitable causes. Support organizations and initiatives that are working to address pressing social, environmental, and humanitarian issues, especially now. There are already groups on the ground that have been doing the work that we support, that we should be supporting financially. And provide mutual aid funds when possible. This is a direct action that helps people who are in desperate need at the moment. And we know that there will be many needs for this in the coming months. You can give back locally. Look for ways to contribute to community building efforts. I'd say your Christmas trees are exactly that. Share your skills and knowledge. Practice radical hospitality. Welcome others with open arms and create inclusive spaces where all feel valued and respected. And cultivate a culture of generosity. Share stories of generosity and acts of kindness and celebrate the impact of collective efforts to make a difference in this world. So how do we cultivate hope? Because sometimes that's the harder part, right? Practice gratitude. It helps you shift focus from what you're lacking to what you already have. Engage in spiritual practices, whether meditation, prayer, mindfulness, reflection. These can help us deepen our connections to the sacred and foster a sense of hope and resilience. Seek community support. Surround yourself with supportive communities that share your values and provide a sense of belonging and solidarity. And find meaning and purpose. Engage in activities that bring meaning and purpose to your life. By aligning your actions with your values and aspirations, you can cultivate a sense of purpose that sustains you through difficult times and inspires hope for the future. Stay informed and take action. Not just consume all the news and doom scroll and wallow in despair. No, stay informed and take proactive steps to make a difference. By taking action toward a more just and equitable world, we can cultivate a sense of agency and hope for the possibility of a better future. Practice self-compassion and resilience. Be gentle with yourself. Practice self-care during times of difficulty. Acknowledge your struggles and treat yourselves with kindness and understanding. Often that's the one we're not so good at. We can hand it out, but we can't always give it back to ourselves. I say that as somebody who struggles with that. Through acts of generosity, Unitarian Universalists seek to embody the values of love, compassion, and justice that lie at the heart of who we are. Hope is a dynamic and transformative force that shapes the beliefs, practices, and actions of its adherents. Through hope, UUs are inspired to strive for a world characterized by love, justice, and compassion, and to work tirelessly towards its realization. The symbiotic relationship between generosity and hope underscores the interconnectedness of the human experience and the transformative power of collective action guided by shared values and aspirations. Through acts of generosity, fueled by hope, we can embody the belief that a better world is not only possible, but achievable through the combined efforts of individuals committed to justice, equity, and compassion. May generosity and hope hold hands in our lives. Amen. May it be so, and blessed be.